Hi Naveen, good evening. So I'm live now. So we'll take questions first. So Ariu, you had some questions. So let us go with that. Okay, so let's go with your question. So this was what were your question? You were asking me whether vedāna, sañña, sankhara, vijnana, and paticsamutpada is condition for samudaya and nirodha. See, in this particular sutta, this is SN 22.57.
What is the question?
The question he has is, see, in this case, in this sutta, Sattatthana Sutta, there is a mention of three things. In the last,
Yeah.
Buddha talks about three ways.
Yes, I also wanted to know that. Yeah.
So he says that one should be contemplating on dhatu, ayatana, and paticsamutpada. Okay, so his question was, is when you say, wait, let me read out what his question was.
Maybe I'll just explain it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right, because you were saying these three things are special in this sutta. I was thinking the sutta right before this is I forgot the name, the 22.56.
Yes.
I think it's Upadana Paripavata Sutta.
Correct. So we had already covered this.
Right, so that one was very similar, except this one mentioned the asada, adinava, and nisarana.
Correct.
And otherwise, you said the special thing was in the end is he said there's dhatu, ayatana, and paticcasamuppada. And I was asking, why is these things special? Because dhatu, as I understand, is just rupa, and ayatana is just vedāna, sañña, sankhara, vijnana, and paticcasamuppada is just talking about the samudaya and atangama. So I thought it's fairly, it just says summary, but you said these things are special. So I just want to know what's special about these three things.
See now, if you take the dhatu, it has patavi dhatu, apo dhatu, tejo dhatu, vayu dhatu, akasha dhatu. So these are the 5 dhatus. Then if you come to ayatana, there is only 6 ayatanas. Chakku ayatana, sota ayatana, ghana ayatana, jiva ayatana, and what is it? Chakku, sota, ghana, jiva, kaya, mano. The 6 ayatanas. They can't be anything related to sankhara and all that. And if you look at the paticsamutpada, it is how it is dependently originated. So he says in that same sutta, one second. So if we take what it is, then in the same sutta, he talks about paticca samutpanna. So if you go on top, so he says, chai me bhikkhave, let's take vijnana. So he says, chakku vijnanam, sota vijnanam, ghana vijnanam, jivva vijnanam, kaya vijnanam, mano vijnanam. Idam uchati bhikkhave vijnanam. Nama rupa samudayo, vijnana samudayo. Nama rupa nirodho, vijnana nirodho. Okay. Yam vijnanam paticca upajjati sukham so manasam. So that paticca, that is how it arises, is what a paticcasamutpada is all about. Okay. Now there are 3 contexts you have to take. One is, what are these? for experience. That is, what is Rupa, what is Vedana, what is Sañña, what is Sankhara, what is Vijnana. The first step for contemplation. Okay, that is Anupassana. Then the second step, how it arises. Okay, it arises, let's say if it is Vijnana, it arises due to Nama Rupa. So, Nama Rupa Samudayo, Vijnana Samudayo. Nama Rupa Nirodho, Vijnana Nirodho. Now you have to experience that. Okay, so we'll go through that. This is the two things. Then he talks about Arya Attangika Magga. So, 4 things are over. What is Vijnana? How it arises? How the cessation of Vijnana happens? And Nirodha Gamini. So 4 things are covered. Now comes the 3 things. Yes.
Yeah, I guess my general question is, I thought Vijnana is part of the ayatana because there's 6 ayatana, right? And
6
Vijnana.
Ayatana means home. There are 6
Right.
homes. Okay, or in a home, 6 windows. Take it that way. Okay, a home with 6 windows. Each window represent each place. So they call it as a sphere, sense sphere, because there is no English perfect translation word available. So they talk it as a sphere.
Mm-hmm.
So what's a sphere? Sphere means a globe or a place or something like that. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just thinking there's corresponding Vedana, Sañña, Sankhara, Vijnana for each of the 6 senses anyway.
No,
right?
No, that's not how it works. So if somebody says this is ayatana, there is only cha ayatana. You look at any sutta, there says cha ayatana. He doesn't take anything else. Just like in the Vedana, what he says, chakku sampassaja Vedana. He doesn't bring Vijnana there.
But in the Chachaka Sutta, it says Upajati Chakku Vijnana, right? So there's 6 Vijnana.
No. That is 6 Vijnana is there, but it is not ayatana.
Oh, okay.
See, my dear friend, it's like this. Think it like 6 reflecting mirrors in a home, right?
Got it. Mm-hmm.
If an object arrives in that home, let's say somebody comes and shows the face, that face gets reflected in that mirror. That mirror is consciousness. Got the point? So the chakku by itself is not doing anything. The rupa by itself is not doing anything. The vijnana, when it is there, it connects both the chakku and the rupa. So chakkuncha paticcha rupe cha uppajjati chakku vijnanam. Independence of the eye and the form arises eye consciousness. That's what it means. If eye is not there or the form is not there, there cannot be any chakku vijnana. If ear is not there and the sound is not there, there can't be any sota vijnana. Like that. So if we put, for argumentative sake, let's say if we put ayatana, vijnana itself part of ayatana, that means forever it's going to be there. Yes.
Right. And another way I was thinking was Namarupa Pachaya Salayatana, right? And the Nama is Vedana, Sañña, Passa, Chaitana, and Manasikara. And Chaitana for me was similar to Sankhara. And the Manasikara was
Chaitana is the intention. So, intention. In the Sankhara, if you see in that same sutta, he talks about Rupa Sanchetana. He doesn't talk about Chakku Sanchetana. Rupa Sanchetana. What does that really means? What it really means? I'm intending to package it in one way. Okay, now I am seeing the Rupa. What Rupa am I seeing? I am seeing Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayu, Akasa when I am seeing you. Okay. Now what I package now, what I do a sankhara, which is preparation, is that this is Ariyu. So how did that happen? It happened due to chakuncha paticcha rupecha upajjati chakku vinyana. What the point? Now the vinyana has arisen. How did it arise? It arose because nama and rupa with vinyana. Not just nama rupa alone. Nama rupa along with vinyana. And that's the reason he takes such a pain of explaining in the Mahanidana Sutta what is nama, what is rupa, what is vinyana, and how these three things associate together. Okay, now what is our practice? If we were to experience, this is theory. What is our practice? You need to see yourself in the mirror and see whether nama is coming or rupa is coming or vinyana is coming as an observation, right? Otherwise, what's going to happen is we learn. That's okay, but we don't get a chance to apply it on ourselves. Now the video is there. What I need to do is really focus and really see what I'm seeing. It's okay. Okay, so we need to really see what we are seeing. What are we seeing? Are we seeing a person there? If yes, then nama rupa along with vinyana has already happened. That means it has passed the salaytana, it has passed the phassa, it has passed the vedāna, it has passed the sañña, and the sankhara has already happened. Clear? So what happens? What is the patisamutpada cycle we can see now? We can see that chakuncha paticcha rupecha upajjati chakku vinyanam tinna sangati phasso phassa pachaya vedana yam vedeti tam sanjanati. So what am I seeing now? I am seeing Ariyu, or I am seeing it as Vilas. Yam sanjanati tam vitakketi. Now I start thinking about Vilas. Yam vitakketi tam papancheti. Now I create the papancha. This is a very good technical term. Pancha. Pancha means 5. In 5 ways, I will take it as what it is. What are the 5 ways? 5 ways is either through eyes, or through ears, or through nose, or through tongue, or through body. These are the 5 ways I will take it as myself. I create a self image now. Meaning the mirror itself is taking itself as its own self. Yes.
Is the papancha here synonymous with manyana?
Manyana.
Yeah. Manyana.
Manyana means to consider. Okay. Yes, it is similar. That's the reason he ultimately comes to that. He says that yena hi manyati tato tam hoti anyata. So now I have considered this to be Vilas. So what happens anyatha? Anyatha means the person is going to die. Yes.
And I suppose it's also synonymous to what you explained earlier about Bhuta. You said Bhuta is when it comes to be something.
Yes. So when you say Bhuta, you form. It creates a feeling of something it's become. So it has become as Vilas. So Yatha Bhuta Jnana is to see within that Bhuta. Right? How it has become. So these 5 elements have been called as Vilas because it makes sense to call like that. In Milinda Pahana, in fact, he explains in such a nice detail. He says that, look, he asks a question. Milinda asks a question. Okay, tell me, who came here? Won't you tell you came? Then he says, yes, conventionally I have to use that term that I came, but in reality I did not come nor go anywhere, because this 32 parts of the body came and the 32 parts of the body is departing. So he gives an example. He says, you have 10 chariots. You are traveling between each of these in 10 chariots in different stations. So the first station you have sat in one chariot, and the second station you have sat in second chariot, and third chariot. Like that you have ended. Can you now say which chariot did you come? Because chariot is not there, basically. But you have to use the term chariot to depict that you came through something, but actually you did not come through anything. But when conventionally, if you are supposed to say, what will you say? I came from this place to this place in one chariot, got down, sat in another chariot, came for some distance, then another chariot took me and it brought me here and brought me here, brought me here, and the end, that chariot reached the final destination. 1 second. ಅಂಜು ಆ ಡೋರ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡು, ಎಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಟ್ಯಾಬ್ಲೆಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ನನಗೆ. ಆತ 20 ಸಲ ತೆಗಿತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. ಈಗ ಏನಾರ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡಿ, ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಯು ಕೀಪ್ ಇಟ್. ಇಲ್ಲ, ಡೋರ್ ಓಪನ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಎಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓಕೆ, ನೌ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್. So the thing about it is that if you take the nama and rupa with vijnana, vijnana will associate with whatever you say. So when we say manasikara, it has vijnana to it. So that's the reason it is yoniso manasikara or ayoniso manasikara. And what happens here is that when we say yoniso manasikara, it has ability to dissect and see. Okay, whereas ayoniso manasikara means it doesn't have the ability to dissect and see. Who doesn't have ability? The vijnana doesn't have the ability. It takes whatever the object is coming itself as the truth. Okay, in this particular sutta, the advantage of that sutta is he explains the 7 cases in 3 different ways. Okay, now the 7 cases we know. But how do we practice is the question. What is that I need to do to practice it? Okay, that is the whole subject of today's discussion. So we can't say that Patisamutpada includes the vedāna, sañña, sankhara or whatever it is. That's not the fact. The fact of the matter is when we say Patisamutpada, wherever that Patisamutpanna is there, that is Patisamutpada. Meaning, when you take asada, adinava, nissarana, in that asada, he says it creates sukha somanasam. In everything he uses that. Yam vinyanam paticca uppajjati sukham somanasam. Wherever there is the paticca is the Patisamutpada. So what it means? It follows the entire cycle. Okay, so let's see whether it works for us or not. Let's start with Rupa. What is asada of Rupa? When you get the Rupa to your liking, that is when the person who should be appearing in front of you or the object what is there in front of you is to your liking, then immediately there is a sukha feeling of the body and a mental sukha feeling in the mind. Both things are happening. Let's take an example, illustration. I see my wife. I know she is my wife. And I know that she is not anybody's wife. She is my wife. Simple. Now when she comes, the anxiety is not there. That what happened to her. So there is sukha. Because I am seeing the body, it is there, so there is a sukha feeling of the body. At that moment, if you observe, there is a sukha feeling. Not the third jhana sukha feeling. We are not talking about that. There is a generic sukha feeling. And then there is a somanasa happening. So, what has happened now? When the rupa comes to be, which is to your liking or to your expectation, then there is sukha. What if you see that it is ceasing away or it is khaya? Khaya means you can see the body is getting aged, and it is also viparinama dhamma, that is, it can end anytime, and it is dukkha. So that is adinava. It is there in all. It is there in rupa, it is there in vedāna, sañña, sankhara, vijñāna. Same logic is been applied throughout. No change. Nisarna is all about, he says that chandaraga vinayo, that means use your vinaya. What is vinaya? Vinaya is discipline. So you discipline your mind to see the object as it is. How? You have understood, without food, rupa cannot arise. Without the 6 sense bases, the vedāna cannot arise. Without the 6 objects of the senses, sañña cannot arise. Without the object intention of what you want to do with that object, sankhara cannot arise. And all the 3 of them, that is, the vedāna, sañña, sankhara requires phassa. Without contact, nothing can arise. Okay, then comes vijñāna. 6 vijñānas are there. Which vijñāna are you talking about? It's not one single vijñāna. So he gives in the Mahatanha Sankhya Sutta, where he says that there are 6 vijñānas separate. Right? So if it is coming through chakku, sota, ghana, jivha, kaya, mano will not be there. If it is coming through mano, the other 5 will not be there. If it is coming to saddha or the sota, then the other 5 will not be there. So it is only one kind at one point in time. So he says there are 6 consciousness. Right? Now when it has arisen, that is when it is there, it creates feelings, it creates perception, it creates sankhara. And vijñāna gives you that experience through which it has arisen. So it is arising through the sound. You get that ability to understand the sound. If it is arising through sight, you will get the ability to understand the sight. If you are arising through the nose, you will get the ability to smell. If you are arising through the mouth, you get a ability to understand the taste. If you are arising through the body, you will come to know how the body is functioning. If it is arising through the mind, it creates mind objects. In the Kajjaniya Sutta, he gives perfect example for vijñāna. He says taste. All kind of taste is vijñāna. Why? Because it's easy to understand what is vijñāna. Now what really is vijñāna? Vijñāna is the one which can discriminate between this and that. Ajatta bahidda. It can discriminate. It knows that this is an internal object and that is an external object. It can distinguish. It can distinguish colors. It can distinguish taste. It can distinguish touch. It can distinguish smell. It can distinguish thoughts. All of that is part of vijñāna. So if somebody were to ask, how can I experience vijñāna? The easiest answer is as you experience taste. Very simple than getting it very complicated. Now, if I am making this body movement, if I am walking, if I am sitting, if I am standing, if I am sleeping, all of that is caused due to vijñāna. All the body movement, even though Vayu is doing the body movement, the how it is moving the mouth and etc. is done through vijñāna. It's like a puppet show. So he also uses illustration to show that vijñāna is like a puppet show. That is sampajanya. If you really observe like a puppet show, you can really see what is happening in your entire. So you become like a self-made puppet, displaying to yourself how the body is moving. Like I am moving the body, this body, I can say I am, but what actually is that? It is the vijñāna which is moving the hand and the legs and the torso and other things. Same thing with you, same thing with every one of us. So there's no differentiation. So when there is no differentiation, then the Patavi is not yours, the Apo is not yours, the Tejo is not yours, Vayu is not yours, like that. So you know that it's not yours. So Ajjatta Bahidda, when it goes away, you get it Ekatta Sañña, then Nanatta Sañña. That means you get a perception of all. Ekatta means oneness. So now you can see oneness in everything. It's not individualistic anymore. So it's not my eye, my ear, my nose, my tongue, my body, my mind, like that. It is every eye will see, every ear will hear, every nose will smell, every tongue will taste, every body will touch, every mind will think. Or Dhamma is there. That is, it creates object. What creates object? Mind creates objects. If I know this much, then I have understood the Dhamma. Now I can see it in three ways. One, I can use it as a dhatu, so that it removes the idea of eso mama, eso ahamasmi, eso me atta. It removes it completely if I use it as a dhatu. If not through dhatu, what next can I use? He says use it as an ayatana. Understand the structure. It's like a one. It's like a seeing, hearing, tasting, touching, smelling, like a reflection. 1 second. Okay. So, if I take it like an ayatana, then what happens? I can see the factory, a perfectly enabled factory, which has eyes to see, ears to hear, nose to smell, tongue to taste, body to touch, mind to think. There's a factory. There's no person. It's like an engine. It makes some sounds. Different kind of things are there. This is the second way of looking at it. Third way of looking at it, of the three things, what it does. That's the reason he says vimukti can be found when you see it through patisamutpada. In the Asada Adinava Nissarana, if you really observe in that sutta, he says the link is that once the nibbidda happens, viraga happens, then vimukti happens, then kevalino. Kevalino in Sanskrit is kaivalya, meaning complete emancipation, complete liberation. How? When there is no rupa, there cannot be any vedana. If rupa and vedana is not there, the sañña is not there. Then animitta happens because there is no symbolization through sañña. If sañña is not there, then the sankhara samatha is going to happen. If sankhara samatha happens, sabbupadi pati nissaggo. That means all experiences becomes null and void. That means there is no past, there is no future, there is no present. So he says in the previous sutta what we were talking about, he says that atita anagata pachuppanna ajjatta bahidda olarika sukuma hina panita, like that. If you take that, then you know there is nothing like taking it as mind. Okay, so sabbupadi pati nissakko. Tanha khaya. Craving is ended or reduced. Khaya means going away. Virago. Automatically discoloration happens. If there is no craving, discoloration is there. If there is craving, coloring is there. So the discoloration has happened. Viraga is to literally remove color and make it white. There's no color or transparent, whatever way we want to put it. Nirodho, now there is no arising. And hence you are in Nibbana. So we can use any steps to get in there. We can use the 5 dhatus, we can use the 6 ayatanas, we can use the patisamutpada. Either of them in this whole structure, that is, what is Rupa, how the Rupa Samudaya happens, how the Rupa Nirodha happens, and the Nirodha Gamini Patipada, which is the 4 noble truths. That if I am able to understand, and especially the Arya Attangika Magga, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappo, Samma Vacha, Samma Kamman. So let's put that and see. Ahara Samudayo, Rupa Samudayo, Ahara Nirodho, Rupa Nirodho. Now, if somebody is fed with food, then the body is growing. Without food, no body grows. Simple. Now, if I take Samma Ditti, what should happen? Chattaro Bhikkave Ahara, Kabalinka Ahara, Passa Ahara, Mano Sanchetana Ahara, Vinyana. These are the 4 Ahara. In that I will take the first Ahara, Kabalinka Ahara, Olarika Sukuma. That is, it's gross or subtle. But food is required. If I take that as Samma Ditti has happened, what is Samma Sankappo here? Now I know that there is no person. So the Nekkhamma automatically happens. Abhyapada Sankappo automatically happens. Avihimsat Sankappo also automatically happens. Because there is nothing to harm or do anything. Nothing to injure anyone. If there is no person, what will I injure? If there is nothing as a person, to whom will I do Bhyapada? If nothing is a person, to whom will I go and address? So there is Nekkhamma, meaning renunciation. So Samma Sankappo happened. Because of that, Samma Vacha automatically is going to happen. Why? With whom will I tell lies? With whom will I have harsh speech? With whom will I have the slander? With whom will I do blabbering or just empty gossips? There's nobody there. So Samma Vacha happened. Then Samma Sankappo will happen. Samma Kammanto will happen. That is, I'm not going to kill, I'm not going to steal, I'm not going to have sexual misconduct. Because with whom will you have what? It's only the dhatus, which are not mine anyway. So that much I have understood. That's it. You see how it takes you to Arahat. Okay. Now Samma Kammanto has happened. Because of that, Samma Ajiva. What is the Ajiva I'm going to do? 4. One is I need food for sustenance. That's all what it is. Then I require to be eating 1 time in a day. Sufficient. Why? Because it's only about maintenance. And I can see that it's only dhatu. If the food what I am eating is only dhatu. This body is made out of the dhatu. There is no person there. There is no thing called as this food and that food. There's nothing called as Chinese food and Indian food and continental food and American diet and this one, that one. Nothing is there. It's just food. If there is food, can I call it as Jiva being there, a life being there? No, Nijjiva. There's no life in that. Then what happens? Then, since I have understood it's only Dhatu Mattako, then I am seeing it as Nijjiva. No life source can be found in the rice or wheat or whatever I am eating. Then Shunyato. That is, it's empty to the core. Nothing in there. After eating, over. Whether I'm eating meat or animal product or I'm eating vegetarian product, it doesn't really matter because both are food. Okay. So my Ajiva is only to sustain life. Second one, I'm going to have a place to stay because of harsh sunlight and rain and all that. That's the only reason I'm having a roof. Then I require the clothes. If I see the clothes, if I wear it, before wearing it, it looks good. After wearing it and removing it, it looks clumsy, and it smells. That means it is getting decayed. Even food getting decayed. The room where I'm staying is getting decayed. And the dress I'm wearing is getting decayed. I can see jara, marana, all that happening in the Paticamutpada. With the dress, with the food, with the stay. And gilan, that is diseases. To take care of the diseases, I need medication. And medication also decays. So all the four are required only for sustenance. That is my ajiva. So I'm going to take employment which will take care of these four. It doesn't matter what I'm going to work with. Unless I'm not doing killing and stealing and all that. Other than that, I can take any profession. And he is given in the DN2, Samanna Phala Sutta, what all profession you should do and what profession you should not do. You see, if I'm following that, it's over. Right? So, Samma Ajiva. That means I have taken the three sealers perfectly. That is Samma Vacha, Samma Kammanto, Samma Ajivo. Samma Vayam. In that, now I know that it is only the Pathavi Dhatu, Apo Dhatu, Tejo Dhatu, Vayo Dhatu, Akasa Dhatu. Since I know it thoroughly, there is nothing called Ajjatta Akasa Dhatu and Bahidda Akasa Dhatu, or Ajjatta Pathavi Dhatu and Bahidda Pathavi Dhatu, like that. Now my energy is to cut off the akusala and develop the kusala in 4 stages. 2 for removing the akusala, 2 for developing kusala. So Samma Vayama. If I am doing it correctly, that gives rise to Samma Sati, to remember what I am supposed to be doing at every point in time. What I should be doing? Observing food. Sabbe Satta Aharattika. That means all food, all beings are supported by food. So there is no person there. Okay. That's the knowledge I am getting. Then if I get that Samma Sati, I am always in Samadhi. So now you see here, I don't have to close my eyes and go to 4 jhanas. First jhana, Savittakka Savichara. It's automatically happening. What am I doing? Looking at the ahara. That's all. Piti happens. Why? Because there is no person. If there is no person, there is no death. The death is to the person, not to anyone. All my life is to safeguard the person. If the person is not to be safeguarded in any way whatsoever, like in the simile of the saw, what he has given as an example, if you take that, then what happens? The first jhana happens, piti happens, you get sukha automatically without having to close eyes, watch breath. All that is not required. Just take Samma Ditti, it will automatically take you to Samma Samadhi. Okay. Mahachattarika Sukta, he talks about how to establish Samma Ditti and how it removes and also adds 2 more to it, which is Samma Jnana, Samma Vimukti. So totally 8 plus 2. So let's now see how it works. So if I am always in the observation of the ahara, okay, then I know the nirodha also. If I know the nirodha, then I know this Ari Attangika Magga, where now I know that I can be in samadhi. So the third jhana is sukha. Then since I am not associated with anyone, conventionally speaking, I can say I am Vilas and he is Aryu, he is Naveen and he is Sachin and he is that, he is this, all that. But in real terms, there is no Ajjatta Bahidda differentiation. If there is no differentiation, equanimity automatically happens, which is Ekagata. So, Vitakka Vichara Piti Sukha Ekagata has happened. And that's it. So now, there's nothing called I is not there. Mine is not there. This belongs to me is not there. Eso mama, eso ahamasmi, eso me atta. All the three are not there. That's exactly what is there in the Maharahula Vada Sutta, which we had covered earlier. So we can take any one of these or a combination of these suttas to really understand what it is. And Pena Pindupama Sutta will give you the similes, basically. Upama is simile. So Pena Pindupama Sutta means foam, simile of a foam, if we were to put it in that way. So we can use any one of these to get to three arguments. What are the first argument? We spoke about the first argument, dhatu. Now let's come to ayatana. So we know chakka ayatana. Chakku ayatana means eye sense sphere in English, but actually it's a home. So what will be there in the home? Collection of objects. What objects? Visible objects, which the consciousness feels that it has picked up. Okay, it feels. What it feels? Sukha, dukkha, adukha, asukha. Vijanati. It knows that this is sukha. It knows that it is dukkha. It knows that this is neither sukha nor dukkha. It knows these three. What does vedāna do? It feels. Vedayati, meaning it exactly feels. What it feels? Based upon the vijnana, it can feel. Who can feel? Each one of these sense inputs coming into the sense door can feel sukha, dukkha, and neutral. Okay. Now, instead of going through the dhatu, I can now go through the sixth sense in this face itself. 2 eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and the mind is in the head. Let's take that. I can keep on observing my face in the mirror and I can contemplate what is happening. That gives me a beautiful picture of. So in Buddha, in another sutta, he asked the bhikkhus, have you seen a movie better than the mind, which is chitta? He says chittana. Okay, what moves? In Sanskrit it is called chitrana, and in Pali it is chittana, meaning a movie which can move. He says that there is no appropriate simile for chitta except for giving it chittana. A movie, like a movie, it keeps on making. So he says that instead of observing anything, you observe the chitta which creates the chittana, which means it creates a movie frame by frame by frame, and you can watch it with motion. There can't be any other dramatic sequence happening other than the mind itself. So basically, if I am using the ayatana, I can reflect upon this. So now I can evaluate whether I can go through the what I can say, the dhatus. Is it easy for me? Or ayatana is easy for me? If ayatana is difficult, I can go to dhatu. And the third one is patisamutpada. Now you can use a patisamutpada on all of these 5 aggregates at once, because what does he say in the end? Evameva kevalassa dukkha khandassa samudaya hoti. In the patisamutpada in the end. So what he is saying, it is the samudaya. And he says, if you go on the reverse order and break it, nirodho hoti. So there is samudaya hoti and nirodho hoti. So if I want to go through the patisamutpada cycle, avidya pachay sankhara. Now what is avidya is about? I don't know. It is preparation. What preparation? Rupa sanchetana, saddha sanchetana, ghana sanchetana, rasa sanchetana, like that. Each one of these objects, I am packaging it, I am preparing it, I am creating a choices out of it. And that sanchetana is the sanchetana kaya, collection. So when I collect it, it becomes an asset form. So with that asset, I am creating the sankharas. What kind of sankhara am I creating? I am creating punyabhi sankhara, apunyabhi sankhara, anenjabhi sankhara, kaya sankhara, vachi sankhara, mano sankhara. These are sankharas what I am creating. Avidya pachay sankhara, sankhara pachay vinyana, vinyana is a 6 vinyanas, vinyana pachay namarupa, namarupa pachay salayadana, like that. So now I have the complete Patisamutpada cycle, knowing what is getting prepared. So now I don't have the idea of anicchata, dukkhata, then viparinam dhammata. So that is what he is saying. One should look at the adinava, not only asada. When you see that, it breaks. Which cycle breaks? The Patisamutpada cycle will break. If it breaks, it automatically brings you back into Nissarana. It is, you will use Pahana, Chanda Viraga, Vinaya, Chandaraga, Pahana. Pahana means to eliminate, to remove. Thus Chandaraga is removed. That is desire or interest to color the way I want is removed. So it brings you back to Yathabhuta Jnana Darsana. That means seeing the things as they really are. And that is how this sutta is such an important one than the other one what we had covered some time ago. It doesn't cover these 3 ways of looking at it. These 3 ways of looking at it will take you to Arahat. And the other one what is speaking is from, let's say, it will also take you to Arahat, but here you have even more profound step to do. In fact, you should go to Dhatu Vibhanga Sutta, that is already covered in this sutta. So now in the one sutta it gives everything. That's the objective of this. Okay. Do you have any further questions?
I don't have any question, but I've been kind of observing my image in the camera. And what I can experience is that so long as I perceive this is Aryu and there's an intention to maintain, I want to ask it nicely and not be. But as soon as I think this figure has nothing to do with Aryu and I don't give a damn about what it looks, there's an immediate relaxation of freedom from sankhara.
Correct. Absolutely.
I don't have to maintain
anything at all.
I don't.
Yes, absolutely. So the best way, like in the one sutta, there is one bhikkhu. Okay, so he goes to a marketplace and he sees a lady dancing in the marketplace and he observes her and he sees the teeth and he starts meditating on the teeth and he becomes an Arahat. So he comes back and narrates to Buddha, and the other bhikkhus keenly watch him and they ask the Buddha, how is that he claims that he has reached Arahat? And the Buddha says that is sufficient. That dhatu contemplation is sufficient enough to bring in senses to a person. So for us, if we are able to observe in the mirror or in the camera and don't take it as you, make it just a dhatu, immediately you get a release. Because sabba sankhara samato is going to happen. You don't have to study. You don't have to literally mug it up or by heart or memorize or whatever it is. It's like a puppet thing, right? Etan santan, etan panitam, yadidam, sabba sankhara samato, sabbu padi patinisakko. That is okay. Not that we shouldn't be doing it. But now we can really experience what it is. You can see that the vijnana is the one which is moving everything. It's like a magician. It is moving hands, legs. In everyone, it's not only in me, it's in everyone. It is moving Patavi. I am not moving. It's moving Patavi. It's moving Apo. It's moving Tejo. It's moving Vayu. It is moving Akasa. So there's another sutta where we had covered earlier. He says that how does the birth come to be? He said the birth come to be through 6 dhatus, and they enter into the mother womb. Only through that you can say there is a conceive. Otherwise, there's no way to say conceive, right? And it starts eating the food. So, ahara samudayo, rupa samudayo. Ahara nirodho, rupa nirodho. Whether you see it in a tree or a creeper or a plant or an animal or a human or a deva or a brahma or whatever it is, they all are sustained through food. If there is no food, no life. It's not about believing, it's about faith. Now the faith comes. What faith comes? You are able to see. Without food, no life. Simple. Yes.
Oh, just a quick question since you mentioned Brahma. I wonder, are they maintained by physical food or mental food?
It's only mental food. So like in the case of Deva onwards, they have this elixir. Right? They drink once and that's it. Over. Case closed. They don't have to
only if you have a physical body, right? But if you don't, then it's sustained by mental food only.
And in the Arupa realms, there is no physical body. There is no need for Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo being there. The lesser the ground, the higher is the density, which we can see in any animal. You look at a cow. It's such a nice creature. Eats only grass. But why it should have such a heavy body? Right? And we eat animal food, we eat plant food, we eat all kind of food. But our skin, our body is very light, not heavy. Right? Same Patavi. It's no different. I can call it as a cow because that is the basic definition I can give, which is out of Nama and Rupa. But if I compare between the heaviness and lightness, humans have a lighter body. They cannot run basically like an animal, but they can do many things which animal cannot do. Right? So which means humans are an elevated creatures who have a thin body or a fragile body, but yet very strong mental. They can do a lot of things which animals cannot do. That means they have elevated. So mana ussa is manussa. Ussa means elevated. One whose mind is elevated is manussa. Yes, Ari, you had a question.
Yeah, I was just thinking cows, they don't eat really nice food. They just eat grass. But they accumulate this heavy body. I wonder if it's due to their craving for patavi, let's say, that they have to accumulate this massive body. But the food they are eating are, just grass.
That's exactly
it seems like the human have more craving for food than cows. But how come that they have such a
That's
body?
Precisely what I wanted to say to you is that they're eating grass. Grass is not thick, but it automatically converts into a heavy body. Right? Nobody is able to say how that body happens, how this human body happens. After the human body happens, we are able to say this is a human body, right? After the cow body happens, we are able to call it as a cow. After a horse body happens, we are able to say it's a horse. But nobody today knows how it happens. See, sperm is the same, egg is the same, the ovulation cycle is the same. Even the fetus development, the embryo is the same, if you really see, between different animals. But suddenly, in the 6th or 7th month, it totally changes. Right? Now nobody knows how it happens. This is where Buddha says the consciousness can take the form what it is presented. and it starts believing I am the cow, I am the horse, and I believe that I am human. Deep within me, there's a belief that I am human. Not able to realize that the same feeling is there in the Deva, that I am the Deva, I am the Brahma, I am the Prajapati, like that. So that is what he talks in that MN1, Moola Paryaya Sutta, Manyana. You consider that is you. That is the problem. Yes, Aryu.
I was just thinking, I guess, is it true to say it's due to the craving for ahara that they have to take form? Is it because cow have more craving for ahara than human,
more or
that
less,
they took form of?
more or less is a relative term. It can be. We don't know.
Okay.
What we need to observe, what is our observation? Even though it eats grass, its body is like a huge, including elephant, right? It's huge. It also eats grass. It doesn't eat anything else other than grass. Whereas tigers and lions and all these guys, they eat non-vegetarian, but they have an agile body. But elephants and all that, they don't have an agile body. They just run. But they're heavy, so nobody will attack them without 10 people attacking. Maybe that elephant will die, but then nobody will attack like that, right? They run amok, but they don't eat non-vegetarian. Yes.
Yeah, I guess from what I can see from seeing all the animal videos, that in terms of mental development, the lions and all those predators are higher than those of the cows. So in general, the higher the mental development, the lesser gross body you take overall.
Yes,
right?
one way to consider is like that. Yes, you're right. Okay, now coming back to this sutta especially, is that these are the three ways of seeing. Choose the one you want to take it, and you will attain Nibbana. Also, you will attain Arahat Parasamapatti if you were to contemplate it all the time. The previous one, what we did, that sutta plus this sutta will help in achieving the end goal. There was one question by Sachin, so let me go over that. It is about DN33. Sachin, do you want to explain what it is?
Yeah, that is forever question for me. It's like in the same sutta, I mean, samadhi, there are four kinds of samadhi, and one of them is the way by which, and like in Goenka's style also, what is sampajana? They say sampajana is knowing the Uday way of vedāna. In that, I was always thinking this is the definition of sampajana till now. But today I realized that it is the actually samadhi which leads to sampajana. In that, vidita vedāna, vidita
Upattanti.
थ्री उत्पन्न होता है, फिर स्टे होता है, फिर व्यय होता है. Then vidita vitaka and vidita sanna. If you, this is the something practice or whatever you call, then that leads to sampajana samadhi. Samadhi which gives you sampajana. And in this next paragraph, they are defining the khaya, asava khai, how the defilement is removed. With samadhi removes defilement. Then they say the five aggregate. And the same again they define. In that vedāna also comes, and then they use different word like samudaya, attangamam. So upajjati and samudaya. I mean, something is missing. Like in the same line they are using. I thought it is not coincident.
Okay, no worries. So let us understand. So the first one, what is talking about this 5.2 is that Katama chavuso samadhi bhavana bhavita bahulikata sati sampajanya samvartati. That is how katama cha avuso. Avuso is dear sir or dear friend or whatever you can call it. Samadhi bhavana. How do you develop the bhavana? That is a practice which will tell you that you are in samadhi. Bhavita bahulikata sati sampajanya samvattati. That is, how do you develop this awareness which will tell you that it is bhavita. You can stay in that. Bahulikata is for a long period of time and you can establish in that. So these are the three questions which are being asked. So now he says, idhavuso bhikkhuno vidita vedāna upajjanti. Vidita. What do you understand, Sachin, by vidita? Apart from the translation.
Just feel it. I mean, just notice it.
Just notice it. So vidita vedāna upajjanti. That is, what is the feeling that has arisen in you? You just have to observe like an observer, not basically dealing with it. Don't try to shun it off. Not the way Goenka technique is, where there is some scratching in the head or in the hand or the leg is paining, and no, that is not the Vedana we are talking about. We are talking about Chakku Sampajjasa Vedana, Ghana Sampajjasa Vedana, Sota Sampajjasa Vedana, Kaya Sampajjasa Vedana, Mano Sampajjasa Vedana, like that. It's not that what is being practiced.
Yes.
Okay, so now if you see that, it stays for some time. Upajjanti is arises, upattanti means it stays. Okay, now it stays for some time. So if I am seeing someone, there is a Sukha Vedana and it has come through sight because I am seeing, and it stays for some time. Upattha is to establish, actually. That is why it is called Sati Patthana. Upattha is to establish. How it stays, meaning how it remain or stay, meaning how it gets established. Vidita abhattam gacchanti. Abhatta means moving away. Gacchanti means goes. It keeps on moving. It doesn't stay in one place. As long as that object is there, so long I am feeling it, you remove the object, that feeling also goes up. That's what it means. Now I am seeing Aryu. I cannot see Naveen or Sachin because there is no video which is on. So whom can I see? I can only see Aryu. As long as Aryu is remaining, it stays. Pattanti. Vidita Vedana, what happens? Gacchanti. It keeps on moving. Isn't it happening right now as we speak? He has spoken so many, that is gone. I explained, it is gone. So it's going, right? So this bhavana, if I do, it becomes bahuli katha. That is, can carry on this for a long period of time. The satipatthana gets established then and there, and that becomes sampajanya. Because you're observing like a third party. It's not yours. There is an example. In fact, in the Mahasatipatthana Sutta itself, there is an example. He says, watch a carpenter. In the Sampajanya Pabba, watch a carpenter. He brings in wooden logs and he observes whether the cutting is proper or not. He's seeing as though whether there is any mistake there, so that he can correct it. In the same way, you should observe all feeling which is coming to you, all perception which is coming to you, sañña, all thoughts the mental thoughts, vitakka, which is coming to you. These three things you need to do. Then that becomes samadhi bhavana. Any questions, Sachin, on this?
No, correct.
Okay. Now we come to the next one. That next one we already covered in this sutta, what we were talking.
Yes.
Okay. So it is the same one. So what is rupa? Rupa is chattaro mahabhuta chatuncha upadaya rupa. So if we say iti rupasa samudayo, iti rupasa atthangamo. Iti vedana samudayo, iti vedana atthangamo. So what it means?
Yeah, here I get confused.
What?
I mean, aggregate of Vedana, I'm seeing it with the samudayam. When I see it, when I'm experiencing Vedana, it is just a Vedana, right?
No.
Where is the aggregate?
No, it is not. So what is Vedana? Again, iti Vedana, that you should know. What is Vedana? Chakku sampajjasa Vedana, ghana sampajjasa Vedana. It's not just Vedana. It is Vedana coming due to one or the other senses.
Okay.
It's not just Vedana. See, if you generalize it, there are two Vedanas. In 108 different types of Vedana, he says two Vedana. Kaika Vedana, Manasika Vedana, or Chetasika Vedana. That's all. Two Vedana. If you want to elaborate, he says Sukha Vedana, Dukkha Vedana, Asukha Dukkha Vedana. Then he says, you want me to elaborate? And I say, it is Chakku Sampajjasa Vedana, Ghana Sampajjasa Vedana, Jivva Sampajjasa Vedana, Kaya Sampajjasa Vedana, like that. But what is our practice? If somebody says Rupa, what should be our practice? It's not just Rupa. It is Pathavi, Varna. Every Pathavi Dhatu has a color. Isn't it or not? You just check everywhere. As long as Pathavi is there, so long color is there. That is the reason it's called Upadaya Rupa. Derived from. Right? As soon as you see Apo Dhatu, Rasa is going to be there. You can't split them out. As long as Vayu is going to be there, Gandha is going to be there. Without air, there you cannot smell anything. Because smell is going to bring in the air is going to bring in the fragrance or smell to your nose. Discrimination is done by Vijnana. This is Sukha, this is Dukkha. This is good odor, this is bad odor. The Vijnana does that for you. But when the smell comes, it just comes. It has no labeling that this is a good smell and that is a bad smell. Okay? So we need to observe. And that is what is the samadhi bhavana. We need to observe what is happening. So iti vedana samudayo, iti vedana atthangamo. How does samudaya happens? Phassa samudaya, vedana samudayo. Phassa nirodha, vedana nirodha. This is one thing what we need to experience. If there is no contact, no vedana is possible, no sañña is possible, no sankhara is possible. So the objective here is, out of the nama side, phassa, vedana, sañña, chetana, manasikara, remove the phassa. Everything drops off. Through manasikara, drop the phassa. Vedana drops off. Sañña drops off. Chetana drops off. If it is ayoniso manasikara, phassa will give you an immediate effect of vedana. And vedana with the phassa gives you the sañña, what that object is. Then chetana, intention will happen, which is sankhara already there. So in your fingers, you can see the Panch Upadana Khanda with you, almost in action, right? And that is what he is saying in this section. He says, iti rupasa samudayo, iti rupasa attangamu, iti vedana samudayo, iti vedana attangamu, iti sankhara, iti sañña, iti sankhara samudayo, sañña samudayo, iti sañña attangamu, iti sankhara udayam samudayo, iti sankhara attangamu, iti viññāna samudayo, iti viññāna attangamu. Why? Because it covers what we just now spoke about in these suttas. We need to know what it is. What is Rupa? 4 plus 4. What is Vedana? 6 ayatana. What is sañña? 6 object. What is sankhara? The intention of the object, what it should be. What is viññāna? 6 viññānas. That's all. How does that happen? Nama Rupa Samudayo, Viññāna Samudayo, Nama Rupa Nirodho, Viññāna. If you don't give a description, it will go away. No viññāna will be caused. Just stop describing. Immediately it's gone. If the person who is sitting here and talking doesn't have a name, it has only Patavi, Apo, Tejo, Vayo, Akasha, then what will you describe? Nothing. So, yehi akarehi. What akara? No akara. Yehi lingehi. What attributes or gender? No attributes, no gender. Yehi nimittehi. What is a nimitta? Symbol. You have a nimitta? No. Yehi uddeshehi. Uddesha means purpose. If these 4 are not there on the Namakaya, can there be a verbal impression on the Rupakaya? No. Why? There's nothing to explain who this person is. Similarly, if there is no patigha, that is striking through by the Rupa, can there be a resultant impression on the Namakaya? No. If there is no way to describe and there is no strike through, there is no thing which is happening can be described, can there be a Namakaya and a Rupakaya and a resulting impressions? No. If there were to be no contact at all, this is the most important thing. If there were to be no contact at all between the Rupakaya and the Namakaya, would you be able to say what it is? No.
So can I say, since it is virtual, they are using this word like sun rising and
Udayangama, Attangama is that there is a sunrise and a sunset.
in reality, this Vedana or whatever this 5 aggregate is not experienced. That's why it's not vidita.
No, vidita is what you experience. It's a Rupa, Vedana, Sañña, Sankhara, Viññāna. You are experiencing every moment. Presently, we might not have the Dhamma Chakku to experience that. Okay, but that is what you are experiencing. Whenever you say, I am seeing this, I am eating this, I am doing that, you are actually saying, I am Rupa, I am Vedana, I am Sañña, I am Sankhara, I am Viññāna. Now, if you know you are only conventionally speaking, then it is okay. But if you are really feeling that this is what I am, then we need practice to let go of it. So that is what the DN 33 is all about. Of these 2 sections. So why he speaks that there and why he speaks that here? Let's clarify. There he is talking about how you should see vedāna, sañña, vitakka. That's the objective. In the next section, he is talking about 5 aggregates. How should you see as a 4 noble truth? He has not added the 4 noble truth there, but he has added 3. That is dukkha satcha, dukkha samudaya satcha, dukkha nirodha satcha. That's what that section is. See, iti rupa is dukkha satcha. Iti rupasa samudaya, which is dukkha samudaya satcha. Iti rupasa attangamo, which is nirodha satcha. In fact, there is that sutta what Aryu was talking about is about all the 4. How to see the 4 noble truths in Rupa, Vedana, Sañña, Sankhara, Vijnana. Simple. If I just go to 22.56, which we had covered it is Upadana Paripavatta Sutta. In English, it is called as perspectives. That is 22.56, which we had covered earlier. That exactly gives you all the 5.
Okay, that's why he says always Panch Upadan, Sankitena Panch Upadana Khanda Dukkha.
Dukkha, yes. So when you say dukkha, it means these 5.
Okay.
There cannot be anything other than this 5. When he calls loka, it is 6 senses. That's all what is loka. In the definition of Buddha, there's nothing called as loka apart from these 6 senses. In the same way, if he calls dukkha, dukkha satcha, it is not jati pi dukkha, jara pi dukkha, vyadi pi dukkha, marana pi, that is correct. But with relation to what? With relation to rupa, vedana, sañña, sankhara, vijnana.
Upadana Khanda.
That is upadana khanda dukkha.
Hmm.
The 5 grasping aggregates are the cause of dukkha. Even if you were to drop one, the rupa, the vedana goes away, the sañña goes away, sankhara goes away, vijnana goes away. Because you are not grasping it. Actually, it is going away, but I am holding it as though it is mine. So, eso na mama, eso na aham asmi, eso me atta iti. Oh, it's already almost like 1 hour 21 minutes. What else shall we discuss, or we can end for today?
Yeah, before ending, I have a small question. In this sutta, what is the 7?
7 is 4 noble truths plus 3.
Okay.
Iti rupa sa samudayo, iti rupa sa attangamo. Then he talks about nirodhagamini. That is the 4, right? Okay. Then what are the 3? Asada, Adinava, Nissarana. These are the 7 cases.
Okay.
And 3 ways of looking at it.
Okay.
Through dhatu, through ayatana, through patisamutpada. You can choose all the 3, you can choose one of the 3, you can choose 2 of the 3. It's up to you.
So we can iterate 21 way.
Yes. You can iterate 21 ways, or you can iterate 7 ways, whatever way you are comfortable with. Like, I am comfortable with dhatu. I have picked up. So there's nothing more I need to do. Some person might be very proficient in ayatana. He doesn't have to go through dhatu. He can go through ayatana. Some person is proficient in patisamutpada. He can go through this entire cycle without any problems. He can go through that. No issues.
Okay.
Now, Does it all the three lead to emancipation? He says there, yes, it leads to emancipation. Kaivalya in Sanskrit, Kevalino in Pali. What is Kaivalya? Kaivalya is a state of Arahathood. You have ended the journey. Nothing more to be done. You're ended the journey. There's nothing more to be done. You can just relax till the body breaks down by itself. Naveen, you have any comments, discussion, topics? Or you're done?
I'm done.
You're done. Sachin?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Are you're done? Then you go to sleep, and other three of us, we will spend some more time, not in this forum, but ourselves, and go to sleep. So in fact, all the four can go to sleep. You are sleeping in the morning, we are sleeping in the night. Okay. Good day to you, Aryu, and good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya.